even after getting stomped the way that they did yesterday, the Seahawks are still 5-3. They are still tied for first place in the NFC West. I know that feels crazy after yesterday's game. So when you step back, and you hinted at this just now, but when you step back and look at everything we've seen from the team so far this season, how good do you think they really are? And how big is the gap, if any, between them and the true contenders in this league?
Well, yeah, it's kind of like Jerry DiPoto loves to say with the Mariners, and that is, hey, there's a lot of people that would trade their situation, their organizational situation for ours.
Yep.
They would trade their roster and roster construction for ours. And that is, I think, what I'm most excited about. These two rookie classes have some just difference makers, some generational kind of dudes. Spoon he's just different to be coming out and doing what he's doing. Charbonnet and Bobo and Ken Walker and Derek Hall and Boye Mafe. Like, I think most teams and organizations around the league would look at what John's drafted the last 2 years and go, man,
oh yeah,
I really like a lot of components of that. Now, are there some other areas that got to figure out? And some of the veterans, and a Bobby and a Jamal, how much more do they have, realistically for years to come? Sure, there's those questions. And DK is kind of a wild card in this. And because you see stretches of brilliance and you see some valleys of real frustration. But by and large, Jackson, thrilled about where in the foundational youth and young pieces they have. And I love the speed. I think this is as fast a team as we have seen, especially defensively. So super excited on where the arrow is going. But the details, some of the veterans, some of the play calling, some of the ups and the downs over the course of the season, got to weather it and got to do it against some of the best here over the next 6-7 weeks.
Yeah, I said in the article yesterday, I came into this season feeling like this was a 10-win team, true talent 10-win team with, I would assume, favored in the first round matchup against, a bad NFC South winner or something like that. And yesterday's result doesn't really scare me off of 10 wins or even a playoff win. What it does is dampen the enthusiasm that was building that maybe this team is a lot more than that. You win 5 out of 6, you start to feel we can beat anybody. Maybe we can go into Philadelphia and win a game. Maybe we can split with the 49ers and win this division. And I think that's still very much within their range of outcomes, but sobering yesterday to see, okay, if you don't have it, if all those things that you just mentioned aren't clicking, you're not just good enough to line up and beat those guys.
No, I think that is, I think that's very fair. I think that's very well said. And I think it'll be incumbent on both some of those young guys and Gino and Tyler to say, all right, this is the standard and we just saw it and we didn't meet it, but here's how we got to close the gap. And unlike your golf game and unlike my golf game, there's no way for you and I to do that. But there is a way for those guys to do it, because if Gino can play to his ceiling, if he can get back into rhythm, if he can gain, if there is a little bit of a bust in some confidence and some of the timing and some of those elements, and just start to be like, okay, yeah, that's right. That first quarter against Cleveland, that's as good as anybody could ever play the position.
My gosh.
Now do that. Get back, play with that kind of rhythm, play with that kind of swag, play with that kind of, that kind of game. He's going to be a big focal point, man. That conversation with the way his contract is structured too is not going away, is not going anywhere. I love how he handles it. I love his leadership. So does Pete. But he's got to be the first one there to just, play at a consistent level that he is capable of doing. And this team, with its youth and with a few other holes, desperately needs him to do.
Yeah, man. Fully agree.